Hello everyone and welcome back to Studio IL. Lately I found this very interesting scroll interaction. This website created by Diego, which is brand designer and Webflow developer. This website actually built on Webflow. But you can see as I scroll down, the content is always stick to the top, and there is also some animation like out animation or in animation if you reverse back. So if we analyze it, so basically each element, each block of content is stick to the top, and then it gets three effects. So first is shrink down, right? The second one, it get this blurry effect, and the third one is the opacity. And this is applied to all elements. So as a new element is coming into the viewport, it's affect the previous one, just like this. Very nice. So we will rebuild it on Wix Studio, and this is a working example. So as you can see, as I scroll down, the element gets this blurry opacity scale effect, and everything work very similar to this live example. We won't focus about to make it look nice. We just do it working, okay? Just like this example, and of course you can put any content you like in this container. As you can see, this is the content container. Alright, so this is our plan. First of all, we will put everything inside a single section. Why? Because it's very scalable and you can actually copy the entire section and paste it in another page, and everything work exactly the same without the need to do anything else. Second of all, is because we are using sticky, so we need to make sure that the trigger is outside the sticky element, because it can affect it somehow. I don't know exactly how, but this is, after a lot of practices, this is the best method I found. So we will have a section. We will create 4 items. I need here another one, but it's not important. You get the idea. So this section will have a CSS grid with 3 or 4 rows and 1 column. And each one of these container basically looks like this. So we have the main wrapper, which is, we will apply a shrink effect to it. And then, okay, I forgot to mention something. In Studio, for now, you cannot create multiple scroll effects to the same element. So the workaround is to wrap it inside another container and apply a different effect to that container. It will affect both. So because we are handling with 3 types of scroll animation, we need 3 containers. Okay, so the first one will be for the shrink animation, the second one for the fade, and the third one, which is the content container, to the blur. Alright, in the layers panel it looks like this. So if I'll select this one, the first one, so you can see that I have, let's go to the first one. So this is the shrink layer, and then we have the opacity layer, and then we have the blur layer. Same as here, shrink, fade. This is like opacity and blur. Okay, so we will build it from scratch, and I already saved the animation property, so everything will be much faster. So let's start from blank. Okay, the only thing that I'm going to get from here is the content container, because I don't want to rebuild it. I have the padding, it's also scaled down to mobile, so I'll use it. So let's copy it, and I'll create a new page. I'll call it tutorial page. Alright, so this is how you will start. You will have header, footer, and empty section. The first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to change the background color to black. You can do any color you like. And I'll paste, this is a section, an empty section, we won't use it. I'll paste here my design. Let's make it stretch by default, but I'm going to reuse this container as the blur container, right? Yes, the blur container. Okay, so this is just a placeholder. We will create a new section above. So let's remove the background color. This is the first things that I'm going to do. All right, and now I'm going to apply a CSS grid, apply advanced CSS grid to that container. And I'll apply just for now, let's do 3 columns. All right, so the first thing we need to do, I'll make it a bit bigger. Remember these values, we will get rid of them later for each row. So the first thing that I need to do, I need a container that will use to the shrink. So I'm always say it, but it's super important to give a meaningful names to your elements. So for the first container, I give it a name. This will be container number 1, and it will be shrink layer. Shrink layer. Okay, that's how I am going to identify this layer when I'm setting the interaction by its name. So this is shrink layer number 1, and I'll remove the background color. I don't need a background color. And now I need another container. So let's drag inside this one, inside the shrink container, another container. I'll stretch it to completely fill the shrink container, and I'll change his name to, it's also number 1, but this will be the blur. No, this will be the opacity or fade. Okay, you can select what you like. This is the opacity and this is the property. Here I call it fade, here opacity. Let's go with fade, okay, because this is the animation name. So let's make it exactly the same, fade, and also here fade. You'll do it once and later it will be much faster. And now we need the final layer, which is this design I already created. So I'll just make my container much bigger. Sorry, I will dock it to top left. I'll make it 100% and minimum height of 100 VH. Okay, something like this. It needs to sit at the first row, so just like this. Great. I forgot to remove the background color for the fade layer. Let's go and remove the background color. And now remember that the height of this actually, you know what, the height of this container is coming from the shrink layer, the direct child of the section. Okay, so let's now copy this blur layer and paste it inside the fade layer. I'll paste it and I stretch it, okay, just like this. And now I don't want it to be attached to the edge. I need some padding, so I'll go to the parent shrink layer and I'll add, let's do something like 20 pixels from all sides. So it looks something like this. Okay, very nice. And the final thing that I need to do, I need to select the shrink layer and also set it to be sticky. So let's go to position type, make it sticky, and let's see the result that we have until now. So we will go to preview, and you can see as I scroll down, it stick to the top, and you can see that it's higher than in my screen because this banner, and we will calculate it now, but it seems that it's working. If I go to mobile, it's already some way adjusted because I already took it from the live example. Alright, so let's remove the height from the VH, from the 100 VH. If you have a premium, you don't need to do it, but I need to do it to remove the 50 pixels of the banner height. So it's 100 minus 50 pixels. By the way, the reason that I'm using min height and not height is because I'll give you an example. Let's see the live site. This is actually kind of important in general, not specifically to this tutorial. So you can see actually it's not smaller. Let's see why. Let's go to the section row, and I need to actually this is okay. I need to check the layer, what's up with it. 100 VH minus 50 pixels, it should be okay. It's not okay because this is annoying, but you need to make sure you don't have extra height. So the way to get rid of the height is to do something like this, okay? Because behind the scene there is a row here, and sometimes it gets height with no reason. So let's publish it again, and now it should be okay. And as you can see, it perfectly filled my screen. Okay, so why I'm using min height and not height? Because sometimes you can get elements can have some crazy margin. For example, from top, let's do something like this. Okay, so if you see that the container is grow, so if I'm using fixed height, so it will cut my content. If I'll do something like this, 100 VH, so you can see that it's end here, but I see content right there, and it's not good. But if you are using min height, so you can always see, so even if you did a mistake, it will not break your layout, but the section will grow. And also it's very easy to identify when the height is too much. So let's undo it and change the docking back to the bottom. Great, so this is the first one. Okay, so after you happy with your design, that you see it's working everywhere, what's up here? I think it's okay. So what do we need to do is we need to duplicate. This should be also first. Okay, so after you finish create one that you are like, so I'll just copy this container, this shrink layer, and immediately I'll change its name so I'll know exactly which number it is. So this is the second one, and I'll change right here also for 2. Great, and now I'll position it in the second row and left top. Great, and again I'll duplicate it, I'll duplicate it, align it, this is the third, and rename it. So this is 3, and this is 3, 3, and 3. Great. So we have 3 identical layers. Okay, they are all sticky without this scroll effect. So let's see what's up. Okay, first one is get sticky. Second one is go in on top of the first one because it's also sticky, and also the third one. And also you can see that this is responsive, which is great. All right, so now we need to apply the effects. So to apply the effect, we will use different elements. I love to set, the trigger needs to be a different element. So I love to use lines because you cannot put element inside of them, and also you can change the width and set the height, which is very good. Let's make it at the center for now, but this is super important. They need to be a direct child of the section. If you do something like this, now it's child of the first blur layer effect, blur layer. You don't need it. You need it to be direct child of this section. So I'll give it a name. This will be the first layer trigger animation or scroll trigger. Okay, so now this should be located not at the first row but at the second one. Okay, so I'll do something like this. I'll make it dock to the top. I'll give it a special color. Let's do this blue, and I'll give it a height of 100 VH. Okay, you can play around with this line height, and you will get different timing or duration of the animation based on the height of this trigger line. All right. So this is the trigger for the first element for this container. So we'll go to animation and effect, scroll, and we'll add an animation. So instead of the animate element is the line itself, we want to choose on canvas. So let's click here and choose on canvas. So basically this is why it's so important to give name, because you can directly select from here because you have all these meaningful names. But I'll go to choose from canvas. I'll open the layers panel and I'll select the first layer, and I see that I need to apply shrink effect to it. So I'll select it. It should be from its design, and then I'll select shrink and adjust the animation. And now, because I already saved it, I can see. So 75%, 0 to 50. Let's do it. 75%, 0 to 50. And I'll just publish it to see the first in action. So let's refresh the live site and wait. And you can see as this line is going into the viewport, you see this first shrink layer shrinked, and everything inside of it also shrink because they are inside. Great. So now we need to create another effect. So we'll go back. I'm still on the layer on this line, on the blue line. So I'll add another effect. Again, choose on canvas, and now I'll drill down from the first layer. I'll drill down to the fade layer. So let's go from its design, fade, adjust animation, and it's 0, opacity 0, and the animation area is 0 up to 50. Basically this is 0 when this line is going into the viewport, and 50 when this line is at 50% of the viewport. Fully into the viewport, and when it's going out, this is 100. You can see this red line, it indicates you where it starts and ends. Okay, great. So now let's add another one, and now we need the blur layer. From its design, select blur. It will be 40, I just remember, 0 and 50. Let's publish it, and if this one is good, so it will be easier for us to do all the rest, because we just need to do exactly the same thing. Alright, so we will get exactly what we need. Okay, great. So let's quickly do it for the second one, and the third one will be as regular, because we want to continue scroll on the page. In my live example I did 3, as you can see, 3, but if you do 2, you get the idea. You don't need to do it. I don't want to waste your time. Alright, so let's create another line, and it should again, it should be direct child. Where is this? I need a line. Okay, let's make it 15 and select different color, and it should be direct child of the section. I'll copy this name and I'll paste it right here, and I give it, this is the second layer trigger, so it should be at the third row right here. I'll just make it center, dock to the top, 100 VH, great, as you can see, and now let's apply the animations. So again, scroll, add, I want to choose from canvas, open layers panel, and I want to apply effect for the second layer, right? The first one is okay. Now the orange, when it enters, it needs to affect the second layer. So let's select the shrink layer. We will go to shrink, from its design, and 75%, start from 0 and at 50, and immediately let's add another one. I'll choose from canvas, the second layer, fade, from its design, fade 0 to 50. And the third animation is again the blur one. Let's go to blur, adjust animation, 40, from its design, 40, start from 0 and at 50. And now let's see the final results. So first one is working, as we saw before, and the second one is also working. And now here, because this is the last one, so actually we don't even need to put a sticky to it, right? Because it's here, the section is end. And now you can continue scroll on your site as you wish, and this is won't collide with different sections that you may have it sticky or not. Okay, this is why it's good to make everything inside the same section. So there is a few things that we need to make sure that we do before we are done. So first of all, it's the best to push this line to the edge and remove its background color. Okay, you can actually also make it like 1 pixels. So remove the colors, because we don't want it to see part of our design. And the second one is we need to make sure that all the section columns rows are set to max content, because this container we have, sorry, this container hold the height. Okay, the height is 100 minus 50. So the section rows, it doesn't need height from of their own. I always love to do the last one as an FR. It will take the remaining space and you won't have any broken grid by mistake. Okay, we need to make sure we don't have height for the section itself. Everything looks okay. And another thing that I want to show you is that sometimes you will need some extra scrolling space, like sticky area, so it won't, you see, it affect super quick. Okay, so sometimes you want to give some dead area of scrolling so user can consume the content in a good way. So what you can do, you can basically go to this section and add some gaps between the item. For example, I can do like 20 VH, okay, like 20% of the viewport height, and then we will have 20% of the height extra scroll, okay, for each sticky element. So now you can see that I'm scrolling, but I have here like another scroll area that nothing is happening, okay, which is pretty good. I think it's also exists in this example. So you can see that here we have empty scrolling area with no effect, which is very good. Last thing that you can see, there is a lot of going on when you scroll. You can see this image also is attached to the animation. So basically you can do it super easily. So let's do it for the second one. I won't be precise, I just want to make a point. So if I'll have this image, okay, and I want this image to have some animation, entrance animation, so let's make the container to be overflow hidden. Yeah, it's already overflow hidden. So what I can do, I can simply go to the line that triggered this animation, which is located right here, and add another effect to it. So let's go and add, and now it will be to its design. This is the final design that we want, but I want to choose on canvas. I'll choose this image to its design, and now I can do basically anything that I want. So I can do reveal, for example, so it revealed like this, or I can do turn. Okay, let's see. It's hard to see, but it did something like this, I think. No, not this one. Maybe this one. Yeah, but super soft, I think. Not really. Anyway, just to make the point, so you can choose any animation you like, but you can see that I can attach more and more scrolls to that trigger line. So you can see that actually I should do it to a different trigger. I did it for this one, and actually it shouldn't. So we should do it for this trigger. So let's go again, choose on canvas. I'll select this one. We did tilt, something like this. Okay. So now it should work good. So you can see that we have this entrance animation. Kind of cool, right? So that's it. Oh, I just want to make to prove you why it's so important to put everything inside a single section. So now, for example, this will be the scroll animation section. So I can simply, if I want to use it in another page, I can copy it, create another page, and simply paste it right here. And I'll delete this extra section, and I'll change the page color to, I don't know, yellow, okay, or any color you like. And then if I publish it, it should immediately, everything should be work out of the box. So let's go to see. So you can see everything is working out of the box, and this is why it's important to put everything inside the same section. Alright, so that's it. I hope you like it. Let me know in the comments if you succeed to do it. And until next time, keep building amazing websites on Wix Studio.